Hello guys, welcome to the next video tutorial on C programming for beginners, and in this video we are going to see how we can use loops in C, and we will start with while loop, how to use while loop in C programming. Now first of all, what are while loops? Or even you may be wondering what are even loops in C. Now as the name suggests, loop is a piece of code which will execute again and again and again until and unless some condition is true. Okay. Now for example, we want to print the values of integer from 0 to 10, and we don't want to use printf again and again to print print 1, print 2, or printf1, printf2, printf3. Instead of that, we just want to use one line of code printf, and we want to print from 0 to 10 using the single line of code which is printf. We can do it by using while loop. Okay, so a loop is something which executes your code again and again and again until and unless some condition is true. Now how to use while loop? So let's use the same example to print 10 numbers. So I will declare int I is equal to 0 as my variable, and then I want to print number or integers from 0 to 10 or 0 to 9 itself. So while I can use while loop by this keyword while, and then comes your condition, and then comes your curly braces, and inside those curly braces comes your condition. So inside our while loop we want to print the integer 10 times, right? So print f, and then we will say value of I is equal to %d, right, comma I. Okay, and in this in these brackets comes your condition. Okay, so we will check whether I is less than 10. If I is less than 10, then we want to execute this code. Okay, and if this I, whenever it goes greater than 10 or like this, we want to go out of this loop. Okay, so this is, or this bracket of while is evaluating our condition. Okay, now we will just give the semicolon to our code, and then we will increment the value of I like this. I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, this expression I is equal to I plus 1 you can write in short by writing I plus plus. Okay, so there are two ways of incrementing the value of I, like this, I is equal to I plus 1, or you can do I plus plus. It's same as I is equal to I plus 1. So we will use I plus plus for now. Okay, and then let's try to compile our code. So what it's doing, it's checking this condition. If this condition is true, it will print this. But because I will never be true, because first of all I is equal to 0, and this condition in this case what I have written will never be true. I is equal to 0, which is not greater than 10, then this loop will never be executed. Why? Because this condition is not true at the first place, so this code will not execute. Okay, so let's see what happens when we compile and run the code. And nothing happens. and this is what we were expecting. But when we check I is less than 10, then because the value of I is equal to 0, it goes to this while, and it goes to check this condition whether 0 is less than 10, and it will say yes, 0 is less than 10. Then execute this code, which will print 0 and then increment the value of I by 1, which is 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, and then it will do it again and again until this condition is met. So let's try, compile and run the program, and we can see the value of I is equal to 0, value of I is equal to 1, but I forgot to give the line break. So we will give this line break from here, and then once again we will run the code like this. So it has printed value of I is equal to 0 in the starting, and then value of I is equal to 1, then value of I is equal to 2, 3, 4 until I is equal to 9. Okay, so what's happening here? At the first place, the value of I, we have declared it as 0. So it goes to a while loop and it checks this condition that 0 is less than 10. So it goes inside this loop because the condition is true, and it prints this message, value, this should be value of I is equal to whatever the value of I is 0 right now, so it will print I is equal to 0, and then we are increasing the value of I by 1, right? I plus plus is equal to I plus 1. So now the value of I becomes 1, and it goes once again to check this condition whether I is less than 10. So the value of I is equal to 1, which is less than 10. Once again it will print value of I is equal to 1 and increment the value of I by 1, which is 2. Once again it goes again and again until and unless I becomes 10 here. So when I becomes 10 here, it will go here and see 10 is not less than 10. So it will not print any code here because this condition is not true, and then it goes out of the loop. So this is what happening in this code, right? So once again run this code, and it will run and it will print 0 to 9. Now for example, you want to print until 10, we can just write if I is less than or equal to 10, then print this code. So this expression is I is less than or equal to 10. Okay, so run the program, and now this prints from 0 to 10. Okay, so once again, a loop is something which iterates or executes your code again and again until and unless some condition is true. So in the case of while loop, the condition is this thing we have provided, and it will execute again and again until and unless this condition is met. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye.